exercises that to target those areas that are mostly out of shape. Because that's where you want to start at first, is the hardest stuff. You want to go for the hardest stuff. No, we're not going to do nothing easy. See, if you want this thing, it costs something. It costs something. You're not going to get it easy or free. So once, I tell my children all the time, when you learn how to work with hard stuff, the stuff that nobody else wants to do, you have an advantage. So I'm telling y'all now, when you learn how to work with the hard parts of your body, you have an advantage, because then it will become easy, and then you can do the easy stuff. So walking, praying, jogging, and stretching and yoga were some things that I did. It sounded like I said yogurt. I may have said yogurt, but I mean yoga. I'm thinking about yogurt, y'all. Ain't that cute? Cool and cute. Okay. But what you want to do is you want to set a goal and stop worrying about it. Once you set it, don't keep picking at it like it's a sore. Just do it. Let your body take healing. Go with the process. Go with the flow. Don't keep coming back peeping at it. Give yourself a time limit to come back and see how far you've came. Give yourself time to get a milestone in there. Because I found when we first start things off, we are so picky at it. We're like, yes, I'm dedicated to this every day. You're not going to go back to that book every day. Be real with yourself. You're not going to go back to that book every day. So I gave myself at least once a week. If I couldn't get in there every day, once a week. Because I found trying to do it every day was just overwhelming and stressful. It was stressful trying to keep up with this stuff every day. And sometimes it was stressful trying to keep up with it every week. So whatever, whether it's weekly or every 2 weeks, give yourself time to get to that milestone before you go looking and getting discouraged because you didn't lose that 2 pounds or 3 pounds that you thought you were going to lose that week. So give yourself time. Give yourself time in between there. Write it out. And then give yourself a week or two. And go back and check what your progress is. Whenever you get ready to write down your exercise goals. Okay, so my plan that I had for myself was to use what I had around the house when it came down to exercising. I was talking about curbs in the beginning. Listen. First off, for me, going by me having kids and having to do other stuff, going to the gym was just too time consuming. It was too time consuming and it costed too much, which caused stress. Between time and the cost, it was causing stress on me, which was making me gain weight. It was very uncomfortable. Because, back then I didn't know who I was, didn't know myself. People were staring and laughing because here we got a big black woman. I'm talking about over 537 pounds. We got this big black woman trying to lift weights and stuff. People aren't friendly. We don't have people-friendly people anymore. So people would, they would just stare like, ooh, why she even come out the house? They look at me like they were disgusted. And I was taking in those emotions. I was like, I don't want to come back out if this is how they're going to look at me. And I felt like a monster because I already felt as if I looked like a monster on the outside, because when you take a picture and you can't even see no neck. I mean, I'm talking about I didn't even have no neck, and you see all this big top sitting on top of your face, So I felt bad already. So you have to get in a positive atmosphere. It's not that you're going to have anxiety or depression about, it's not that you have a fear about going around people. But until you're stable-minded in that area, what you want to do is you want to go where it's comfortable. Somewhere where it's positive and that atmosphere is free of negativity. Because that negativity will affect your outcome. So instead of going to gyms and stuff, I found a way around it. I watched Dr. Oz. Y'all, Dr. Oz is such a blessing to me. If I could hug that man in person, boy, I'd give that man some love right now. Dr. Oz is such a blessing to me. Although he's a TV doctor, a lot of his things worked. I followed a lot of his teachings. I did a lot of his videos to put my plan together. And when I tell you his stuff worked, it worked, because he would come up with alternatives to taking medicine. And that's what I liked it, because I didn't like taking medicine, because I was already on high blood pressure medication, and when I would take other medication, it would either mess with my kidneys or my heart or something. But I went to Dr. Oz because I really felt drawn to him, and I believe that was God drawing me to him. And I learned from him everything that I learned just about when it comes down to doing alternative drugs and stuff. Alternatives, like natural foods and stuff. I learned how to eat chickpeas for a burger. I learned how to take the yolk out of eggs and eat the egg whites. I do all that. Yes, I do. I learned how to eat whole wheat bread. Love whole wheat bread. When I first started out, I was like, ugh, nasty, but I love it now. Okay, I'll talk about the food in just a minute, though. But you got to get somewhere where you're comfortable and it's a positive atmosphere. And for me, it was my home. So what I did in my home was I learned from Dr. Oz, and that's why I brought him up, that canned goods. You hear that? Can y'all hear that? I don't know if you can, but that's a canned good. It's chickpeas, by the way, which I'm having for lunch after I get done with this broadcast. But it's canned goods. Regular canned goods can be your weights. I would take canned goods and just lift them while sitting in the chair. Lift them. I would do repetitions of them, till my arm get tired. I wouldn't just lift. I would draw them up and then stop halfway and let the resistance come in there to help tone my muscles and stuff. Canned goods is really good. It's a good tool for exercising at home. And they got a little weight to them. So, that's like a weight. That's your food. You don't need, look, you can lift and eat. Lift and eat. That's what you can do. Okay, the next thing I would do is I had brooms, and I had the doors, and I had the walls. I put everything in here to some use. I would do heel-to-toe stands, up against the wall. I would use the brooms to do lifts over my head with my arms, and to help me with balance. Balance. And my best friend was my chair, y'all. I did a lot of exercise. I still do exercise from this chair, even though I can walk. Just sitting in a regular chair. If you just move your legs in and out, those bottom legs in and out, you're going to work a lot of inner thigh, your ankles and all that stuff. Simple things, just sitting from the chair. But the key is to keep doing it. Don't stop. And I had every time I would feel the burn, I'd be like, oh, God, I gotta stop. Again, I had that rule in place, that little 20 to 30 second rule. Do not stay down no longer than that. Otherwise, you ain't gonna feel like going back to it. So I would go back to it after I felt the burn. And sometimes I would push through the burn, depending on if I was having a good or bad day. And another thing was my bed. By me being 500 and some plus pounds, I was limited at that time to what I could do. So my bed became a safe haven for exercise. I would do stretches, and I had this resisted belt. By the way, a resisted belt only costs us like $5-6 now. I'm telling you, that's a good thing to have, because you can get a lot of exercise in just for that one little belt. I use that belt for everything. I would lay down in the bed and do the stretches with the belt. I would pull my leg up, and at that time, I could not pull my leg all the way up. I didn't have no range or no flexibility. But over time, if you keep doing it, you'll see that each week, each time it's time for a milestone, you'll see that you can do something different. When you hit that milestone, because you feel yourself doing something different. You feel yourself going all the way up. You feel that push. You feel that burn, but now you can take the burn. So that's how when you've hit your milestones, you're able to see physically difference and feel the difference. But my bed was a blessing to me. I did a lot of my exercise from that bed. Okay. So basically, what I'm trying to tell y'all, when I sum it all up, no, I can't sum it all up yet. I got to tell you what I was eating. As far as the food went, I just cut out If I ate white food like bread, sugar, I wouldn't eat much of it at all. I just started, it's common sense, y'all. Let me tell y'all. Let me be real with you. Save your money. This is common sense. This is common sense. When we look back at our ancestors, we didn't have obesity the way we do today. We didn't have it. Go back into history and find out what those people ate. They didn't eat McDonald's and all that stuff. But what they did eat is they ate a lot of stuff that they could grow at home. So that's what it goes back to. I don't care what nationality you are. It goes back to that. It don't even matter what age you are. What you have to do is take the things that you have been eating bad and turn it upside down. You have to make your own pyramid. You know what's bad for you. Turn it upside down. You eat the smaller portion of bad stuff and eat the bigger portion of good stuff. And for me, I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. And that's what it goes back to. It goes back to nature. It goes back to what God created for us to eat. Not the man-made stuff. Not these fake stuff. Learn which foods are good for you, especially if you're diabetic or have high blood pressure. That'll help you a whole lot. But it goes back to basics. Save your money. Get up and move your body and eat a lot of fruits and vegetables and drink tons of water. Our body is mostly water. A lot of people have inflammation because they're not drinking enough water. If you don't drink enough water, yes, those joints are going to start to swell up because they're going to start building up crystals and toxins in your body. Detox at least every month. If you can't detox every 2 to 3 weeks, do it once a month. And detox, lemon water is good. Find out what works. Find out what you can do and keep up. That's what I did. I found out what I could do that would work for me and that I could keep up and do on a daily basis. And once I got into my routine on it, guess what? It's 11 years later and I'm still doing those things that I started out doing that I thought was so hard when I first started out doing it. It's all in your attitude too. You got to have an attitude to do it. Once I changed my attitude, it became my lifestyle. And that's how I lost the 200 pounds. I just went back to basics, y'all. That's what I did. I went back to the basics, to everything that God already had given me in front of me. I didn't buy nothing extra. And listen, even the pedometers that you walk with, I tried those too. I found that to be so stressful trying to make sure I got those steps in. Just get up and move. Just keep moving. You know when you've moved enough and when you're not moving like you should. Just keep moving. Because the health benefits are so much greater than just sitting there and being lazy. Go back to basics. Get back to doing stuff around your house. Get back to doing outside work. Get back to enjoying life. Living, loving and laughing. Big part of my weight loss. Once I learned how to love and just laugh for real, y'all, that's why I laugh through all my broadcasts. I don't care. I'm going to laugh. But once you learn how to love yourself and you can just laugh at anything. I laugh at myself sometimes. Now I look in the mirror and every now and then I might see a little dimple in my butt and I'll start laughing. I'll be like, girl, where'd that come from? But it's funny when you can enjoy yourself like that. You can live a lot better life. You know what quality life is to you. You know what kind of quality life is to you. Quality to me is getting out there, living, loving, enjoying life, being happy, being able to keep up and do things that I never done before. And that's exactly what I'm doing now. I'm doing things that I never done before. Who would have thought I've been talking on a broadcast? Huh? So see, you got to push yourself. You got to stretch yourself. You got to get in the will of God so that whenever you feel like giving up, that Holy Spirit conviction will come back on you. Girl, you can't give up. We done came this far. We going on. Men, you can't give up. You done came this far. We going on. Y'all, it improves your sex life too. It improves your sex life to be flexible and stuff like that. Back, I don't have sex now because, I'm not sexually active right now. But back when I was sexually active and I tried to have sex at over 500 pounds, it was so miserable. I ain't lying. It was It was so miserable. Imagine trying to hold all this stomach. I can laugh at it now, but imagine trying to hold all this stomach and you got this little small man and he's sweating. he's